There's a kind of tiredness that sleep does not touch. You wake up exhausted. You move through the day exhausted. You talk to people, answer messages, finish what needs to be finished, and still something in you feels drained at the source. Not dramatic, just constant. And what makes it worse is that you cannot always explain it. Your body is there, your life is there, your responsibilities are there, but your energy feels far away, as if it belongs to someone else. Most people try to solve this kind of fatigue on the surface. They look at routines, diet, stress, rest, and sometimes those things matter. But there's another kind of exhaustion that does not come from doing too much. It comes from being too far away from yourself for too long. That kind of tiredness is harder to name because from the outside, you may look functional. You may even look calm, capable, mature, reliable. You may be the one who keeps going, the one who stays composed, the one who understands everyone, the one who carries more than they should without making much noise about it. And still, underneath that image, there is a quiet depletion. Not because you are weak, because you have been spending energy in places most people never see, holding yourself together, swallowing what you really feel, managing the emotional weather around other people, saying yes when something in you means no, translating your pain into something more acceptable, staying agreeable so connection does not break. That costs more than people realize. It costs life force. This is one of the deepest reasons people feel tired all the time. Not because life is simply demanding, because they are living with a constant inner split. One part of them is functioning. The other part is carrying everything that never got fully felt, spoken, or honored. And when that split lasts long enough, the self begins to thin out. You become efficient, but not alive. You become helpful, but not present. You become socially intact, but inwardly absent. That absence is exhausting because it takes tremendous energy to keep living against your own signals, to keep overriding the body, to keep minimizing hurt, to keep acting normal when something deeper is asking for attention. People often think exhaustion comes only from action, but there is an exhaustion that comes from suppression, from being emotionally edited all day long, from smiling before you check what you feel, from staying available when you are already empty, from listening carefully to everyone else while ignoring the quieter voice inside you. That voice does not stop speaking because you ignore it. It just becomes harder to hear. And then the tiredness gets worse, because now you are not only carrying your life, you are carrying the effort of not knowing yourself inside it. This is where the fatigue becomes psychological and eventually spiritual. You start to feel tired in places that rest cannot reach. Tired of conversations that ask you to disappear. Tired of roles that depend on your self-erasure. Tired of being the stable one when inside you feel emotionally far away. Tired of being needed in ways that leave you less and less real to yourself. At some point, the body begins saying what the conscious mind has been avoiding. I cannot keep doing this. Not always with a breakdown, sometimes with fog, flatness, numbness, lack of motivation, a strange heaviness that follows you even on quiet days. And because there is no single dramatic cause, you may blame yourself. You tell yourself you should be more grateful. You tell yourself nothing is that bad. You tell yourself other people have more to deal with. But the nervous system does not measure only external events. It measures inner contradiction. It registers the distance between what you feel and what you allow yourself to admit. It registers the cost of chronic self-betrayal. Carl Jung understood something most people still miss. He knew that what is pushed out of awareness does not disappear. It goes underground. And from there, it continues shaping your life. Your anger, if it was never safe to express. Your grief, if you had to move on too quickly. Your need, if needing made you feel ashamed. Your truth, if honesty once threatened love. These parts do not vanish. They become shadow. Not because they are bad, because they were made unwelcome. And carrying what is unwelcome inside you is exhausting, especially when the personality you present to the world is built in opposition to what you actually feel. You become the calm one because your anger was inconvenient. You become the strong one because your pain had nowhere to go. You become the easy one because your needs were too costly. You become the understanding one because it felt safer to understand everyone else than to ask anyone to understand you. Over time, that becomes identity. A false self, yes, but often a highly functional one. It knows how to survive, how to be liked, how to keep the peace, how to perform emotional maturity. But survival selves are expensive. They require constant maintenance. They require you to keep editing reality. And the deeper the edit, the deeper the fatigue. This is why some people feel tired all the time, even when they are technically doing everything right. Because the real drain is not always activity. It is misalignment. It is the strain of living a life that asks you to remain disconnected from your own inner truth. So how do you stop feeling tired in this deeper sense? Not by forcing more discipline onto an already depleted self, not by becoming more productive, not by becoming even better at carrying what is already crushing you. The shift begins somewhere quieter. You stop treating your exhaustion as an inconvenience and start listening to it as information. That changes everything. Because exhaustion is often not just a symptom, it is a message. It may be saying, this relationship costs too much. This role is no longer true. This pace is built on self-abandonment. This version of you is surviving, but not living. And once you begin hearing fatigue that way, the question changes. Instead of asking, how do I push through this? You begin asking, what am I doing that keeps requiring me to leave myself behind? That question can be uncomfortable because the answer is rarely just one thing. It may be the way you over-explain, the way you stay too long, the way you keep saying yes from guilt, the way you carry emotional labor that was never yours, the way you keep choosing acceptance over authenticity. None of that changes overnight, but the return begins in small acts of inner loyalty. You notice the moment your body tightens. You tell the truth in one place where you used to perform. You admit that something hurt. You stop calling numbness peace. You let disappointment register instead of swallowing it whole. You stop giving your best energy to what keeps emptying you. These are small movements, but they are powerful. Because every time you stop abandoning yourself, some energy comes back. Not all at once, but enough to feel the difference. Enough to notice that exhaustion eases when the inner war eases. Enough to realize that what you needed was not more force, it was more honesty. This is the deeper healing Jung points toward. Not perfection, integration. The tiredness begins to lift when less of you is underground, when your anger becomes information instead of tension, when your grief becomes something you can feel instead of something your body must carry alone. When your boundaries stop being theoretical and become lived. When your life begins to reflect your actual inner experience instead of only your adaptations. Then, rest starts becoming real. Because you are no longer asking sleep to recover a self you keep spending all day betraying. That is the hidden truth. Sometimes you are not tired because life is too heavy. You are tired because you have been carrying yourself incorrectly. You have been carrying a false self, a managed self, a self built to survive rooms where the real you did not feel entirely safe. And that self is exhausted. Not because it failed, because it was never meant to carry your whole life forever. So if you feel tired all the time, do not only ask how to get more energy. Ask what in you has gone silent. Ask what you keep overriding. Ask where your life depends on your disconnection from yourself. Because before energy returns, truth usually does. And when truth returns, something else returns with it. Weight leaves the body. Clarity returns to the mind. Desire becomes easier to hear. Your own presence begins to feel less distant. You do not become instantly transformed. You become more real. And that is often the first true form of rest. Not escaping your life, returning to yourself inside it.